We are rolling. Today is Monday, November 15th. I have officially been on my documenting journey for a week now. It has been a week since I officially started recording and talking the case files out and writing my account of what I remember. And I got to a point yesterday where I knew this was going to be hard, and I had a bad day yesterday, and we had a big panic attack resulting in like what I remembered. And yesterday was bad. And I watched some of my YouTube people, and I got the energy to like get back at it again last night. So I went to bed last night with it on my mind again. And last year, when I was notified that the case was being reopened, I don't know how, it was a client. I had told a client something had happened. And I had told the client that my mom's case, I think I was running late or something happened. My mom's case been open. So I let the client know about a little bit of my past, and she, I guess, went and Googled my mom's name and then sent me an article. I didn't know that there was articles written. But there are. The Red Rock News had written several articles. I guess there was original articles in '93, which I haven't found yet, written about it. I'm still trying to locate those. But what I did locate online this morning, when my client sent me the link to the article, I scanned it very briefly because it caused a huge trigger, and I actually did not read it really until its entirety until this morning. And I read it, and I got very mad, because after I read this article, I read the article that was followed up a week later. I'm going to read those articles to you in this video. This is going to be my media documentation. I just got a voicemail. I'm hoping that it's from the Red Rock News. We'll get there. And I'm going to read these reports from the Red Rock News. Okay, this reporter doesn't even work for the Red Rock News anymore. I looked him up. And then I'm going to read you my letter to the editor that I sent the Red Rock News this morning at 6:24, when my blood pressure, I had probably gone to 5, and I had read these articles, but at 6:24, apparently I sent the complete email. I have not gotten a response yet, so I wrote another set, 2 hours later just now, letters to the editor of the Red Rock News, and I'm going to read those to you as well. So let's just jump right in, and let's start with the first article. With the reopening of my mother's cold case. This was published in July of 2020 by Ron, whoever the hell his name is. There aren't many unsolved cases or cold cases, as they are better known, sitting on the shelves of the Sedona Police Department, especially not ones that were deemed a homicide. In the early morning of July 9, 1993, Sedona police responded to a report of death from a home on Coffee Pot Drive. There they found the body of 32-year-old Stephanie Marie Wasselishin. Home with Wasselishin at the time of the incident was her live-in boyfriend, 31-year-old Russell Peterson, and 2 children. A 4-year-old the couple had together. Wrong. Misprint. That is the first thing that is wrong. She was only 3. The couple had together. An 11-year-old from a prior relationship of Wasselishin's. Wrong. I was 10. It was 3 weeks before my 11th birthday. So now you've gotten our ages wrong. So there's 2 misprints right there. According to an article in the Sedona Red Rock News, just days after the incident, police received a 911 call from Peterson at 1:40 a.m. I don't understand what that means. Just days after the incident, police received a 911 call from Peterson at 1:40. Just days? Do they mean just minutes after the incident? Is that like another? I don't know what that means. So they need to clarify that to their readers. Then Police Chief Bob Irish, I am reading the case file out loud, you guys, and I really do. I like Bob Irish's account. He's very detailed and decisive when I read his case file report. I like him. The then Police Chief Bob Irish said a domestic violence altercation between Wasselishin and Peterson had occurred about 1:15 a.m. Irish reported that one of the two had retrieved a pistol from the bedroom. Peterson reportedly told police that Wasselishin fired 1 shot at him and then went into the master bedroom. Peterson reportedly followed her, and a struggle ensued for the weapon, which went off, striking Wasselishin in the neck, Irish said at the time. No arrests were made at the time, and none have been made since. Now, 27 years later, SPD Sergeant Michael Dominguez, that's the one I emailed that I liked at the time, is taking another look at the case at the request of the Waslution family with the hopes of obtaining some closure nearly 3 decades later. When they say they've mentioned the Waslution family several times, I would like to know who they're talking to in the Waslution family. My grandma's dead. I'm the oldest daughter. Right now, if it's not Aunt Wendy they're talking to nobody, because they ain't talking to me. What was conveyed to us police officers at the time, and there were no witnesses other than Russell and the deceased. That is just a blatant, that is false. That is false. Wrong. I wrote wrong. My sister saw it. It's in the case file. It's in the police report, which I did email to the Red Rock News so they could, double check their reporting. The children were in bed sleeping in other rooms when the incident occurred. Yes, we were both put to bed, but the first gunshot that initially missed my mother woke my sister up, so she saw the actual second gunshot that Russell actually did kill my mother, which she states, again, in the case file. The autopsy report from the medical examiner at the time called it a homicide, and I have that paperwork, which I will scan and view a thumbnail, and you'll see all of it. The investigation was completed by the SPD, but the Yavapai County Attorney's Office did not feel as though there was enough evidence to prove a homicide had occurred. I knew it came down to the District Attorney's Office. Dominguez said, therefore, the case never proceeded past the investigation stage. With time and advancements in investigating training and technology, Waslution's family had asked SDP to reopen the investigation to see if the homicide could be proven. Again, I don't know who they're talking to. Dominguez said that the first thing he did when he was asked to take another look at the case was to immediately seek out the cause of death. They, Waslution family, want resolution because they firmly believe that this was a homicide and not a suicide. They firmly believe because they know it's the truth. With potential homicide cases, there is no statute of limitations. Therefore, an investigation can be reopened regardless of the amount of time that has passed. And the case is still considered an open investigation because the medical examiner stated the cause of death was homicide. Yet it never went to court. Fucking A. Based on the evidence I see, there's more to the story than that of a suicide. This is from the newest detective that was assigned to the case. It's now been reassigned since these articles have been printed, by the way. Based on the evidence I see, there is more to the story than that of a suicide, Dominguez said. Can I tell you that it was a homicide with 100% certainty? No. In the upcoming weeks, Dominguez said he plans to meet with the prosecuting attorney's office, the medical examiner's office, and conduct further interviews, including an attempt to talk with Peterson. Dominguez said he read the case file, which consists of more than 400 pages. This is something else that I want to clear up. The case file, when I requested it and was redacted and sent to me, is 176 pages. Now, they're telling me, I don't know if it's true or not, if it's 400 pages. Now, if it's a 400-page case file, where are the other 200 pages of my case file? And if not, then this is yet another misprint that the Red Rock News has done. More than once. When reviewing it, he attempts to look at it through the eyes of the investigator in 93, but then uses his skills and training to fill in the blanks. Training for investigators was completely different then as opposed to now, he said. My job is to see if I can find something else or a different avenue or something that is a different perspective, especially if you think of it as another pair of eyes looking at it from a different knowledge to ask, is there something we can show that a crime occurred or not? It goes both ways. I could turn around and find out that this is a suicide. For me, it's not a win because someone died, but at least it creates closure. No, it doesn't create closure, Sergeant Dominguez. What you're doing is actually just perpetuating a false narrative. There is no suicide. You can't prove suicide. If you could prove suicide, this case would have been closed 28 years ago. The reason why it's still sitting open, Sergeant Dominguez, is because you can't prove suicide because it's a homicide. Now, what's going on with the Yavapai District Attorney's Office? That's the first article. I'm going to cut this video here. We're going to pick up with a week later, they posted another article about this. We just got started.